I'm Oliver Eriksson, I'm the championship leader. Plan today is to bring home the 2019 championship.
Hi, my name is Robin Larsson and I'm ready to take the fight for the championship.
Hello, I am Jere Kalliokoski and my target today is podium.
Hello, my name is Ben-Philip Gundersen. Just now I'm leading the championship in Supercar Lites. It's gonna be a tough day, but I will do my best to win.
Hi, I'm Linus Östlund. I'm here to chase down the championship gold.
My name is Mattias Ekström. I'm making my first race in RallyX Nordic. My aim is to win the race and hope that Robin Larsson will win the title.
Welcome along everybody for the final and 7th round of RallyX Nordic here at Tierp Arena, just north of Stockholm, Sweden. This track is 1,394 meters long, 55% tarmac and 45% loose gravel. My name is Molly Pettit and alongside me, Dan Rook. Welcome along.
Hi Molly, it is great to be here.
It feels like just yesterday we did the first round at Höljes and here we are at the final.
Yeah, and all the action still to come and looking forward to it. The championship's come a long way through the year and it's great to be back and watching it.
4 championship titles are to be decided today, and in most categories it is incredibly close, isn't it?
Yeah, very close. So going to see some super intense battles through the whole weekend.
There's been a mixture of weather, but here for the final day, it is looking a little bit damp out there, but perhaps maybe it's getting drier. What are your predictions weather-wise?
I mean, we both know it's very cold out there. We've both had coats on all day, so but it doesn't seem to be raining at the moment, so hopefully the track will dry out through the day.
One of our championship contenders here, Oliver Eriksson, concentrating, doing some exercises to sharpen his mind. And here we see 2016 world champion Rallycross Mattias Ekström, Jere Kalliokoski here also in with a chance of the championship, and you are going to take us through a lap of this track, Dan.
Yeah, so we are going to get the chance to ride on board with this man, Robin Larsson, around the track. So this is in practice yesterday. He leaves the line going down to the really long straight. This track runs alongside a drag strip here, so heavy braking around a hairpin around the other side of the drag strip there. You can see it just as he comes around the corner, drag strip on your right, all the way up through the gears. Now the driver's saying this corner is very fast and requires a lot of commitment as they come through there, up over the jump, onto the brakes, through this really loose gravel section, up around the right-hander, and it's going to switch left now, heavy on the brakes, rides the curb up nicely, and then into the velodrome section. They've put some new tarmac down here to try and reduce the amount of bumps we've seen develop through the weekend. Standard lap goes left, we're going right with Robin through the Joker lap, a really tight right-left section, losing a lot of time here for the Joker, so the guys have to really work out when to do it. And then up to speed again, over a jump, and then a very fast chicane before they come back over the start-finish line.
As usual, there are 4 qualifying heats, and these are the intermediate standings after Q1. A dominant performance there from Robin Larsson with his teammate for this weekend, Mattias Ekström, there in 2nd. Kevin Eriksson back again there in 3rd. After Q2, it is again Robin Larsson right up at the top there, followed by Kevin Eriksson. We haven't seen him since Höljes. Mattias Ekström having his RallyX Nordic debut in 3rd.
Yeah, we had the perfect Q1 and Q2, win in both qualifications, so couldn't ask for a better start. So now we get a little bit more wet today, so everything could happen, and it's the final merge of the season, so it's gonna be epic.
Like you say, a dominant start to this weekend. Why is that? Why is the car and you so suited to this track?
I don't know, it's a fun track and you really need to push, and we got really good guys on the grid with Kevin and Sebastian and Oliver and Mattias. So you need to push to be in the front, so it's really fun.
Now you brought in Mattias and then they brought in Kevin. It's a bit of a fight between the 2 teams now.
Not that big, but we need big names and good drivers to make it good events, and I think we got it, so we'll see today.
How hard is the racing going to be today?
It's going to be harder of the rain, and Oliver going to go for it and I'm going to go for it, so we'll see.
Yeah, you know, it's a bit stressful. As you said, I was in the same situation yesterday or last year, so yeah, I just try to make it better this year. The Audis are strong. They took in the world champ to try to beat me, and you know, that's always fun to try to beat Ekström. But yeah, it's tough. They play in all the cards, and we try to do the same. So we see who ends up on top.
I was going to say, you brought in your brother, didn't you?
Yeah, it was last minute call there. You know, they took in the world champs. I had to bring out the best one I know. So it was my brother there, and you know, we managed to get some fundings and come out here and race. So it's always fun.
So I think there is a bit of a fight between the teams there, Dan. You know, you have JC Race Technique bringing in Mattias Ekström, world champion, and then you have Olsberg MSC bringing back Kevin Eriksson.
Yeah, so JC showing their hand first with the announcement with Mattias. So Olsberg responded by putting Kevin in the car. But it's great for us for having all the entries, and it's going to be a fantastic load of races.
We are going to see some great action out there today. Here is Oliver Eriksson's car on his way into the team. It's time for Q3 Supercars, and here we see the fastest drivers from Q2 out in the first race. Look at Robin Larsson there, out in front into that first corner. Ulrik Lindemann there taking a different way around the chicane there in the first race. Robin Larsson in front of his teammate for the weekend, Mattias Ekström. Another dominant performance there in Q3. Goes on to take the checkered flag. Robin Larsson in front of Mattias Ekström and Sebastian Eriksson, who we see here in the Volkswagen Beetle. Over to the second race, Jari Keliakoski there in the Ford Fiesta with a great fight with championship contender there, Oliver Eriksson. It's all about getting the best time here in the qualifying heats. Oliver Eriksson in fifth after the first and second qualifying, needing a good time here in Q3 to make it further up. Philip German finishing this race in third, but it is won by Finnish Jari Keliakoski, third in the championship in front of Oliver Eriksson. And then we see Mats Öhman in the third race, stuck on the start line. Unfortunate for him, he's made some upgrades to make this a little bit better for him, but no luck in this third qualifying heat. Hedström is back with us. He was first into that first corner. Here we see the Joker merge. Andreas Karlsson out in front. And it's a win for Andreas Karlsson in his race of Q3. Now here are the results for qualifying 3 supercars. Right up at the top there, Robin Larsson dominating this weekend in front of his teammate Mattias Ekström. Kevin Eriksson there in third, Sebastian Eriksson in fourth, and Jari Keliakoski in fifth.
Did a pretty bad launch, but I think everybody had a little bit struggling, so I could keep my line. Was pretty tight with Sebastian in the first corner, but then it was just to drive clean lines and everything. So now we'll see how Oliver doing his Q. So perfect start of the day.
It was just not quick enough, you know. I was all up in the back there and tried to pass, but I couldn't find my way by. And now it's too bad, you know. Intermediates going away now for me, so I have to find something well now.
And are the conditions making things a bit more tricky today?
Yeah, track is fine, you know. It's just start to get off the line well, it's really tricky. So, yeah, I'm struggling there, so I will try to go in and analyze, see what I can do better.
Dan, it's a bit hard to watch Oliver Eriksson. He seems to sort of think that his championship title hopes are slipping away.
Yeah, he's piling a lot of pressure on himself. And I went and spoke to the team yesterday, and they said after Q2 that he's just not driving quite himself, needs to get his head back straight and in the game. So let's see what he can turn around after his performance in Q3 to deliver in Q4.
Definitely a dominant performance there from Robin Larsson. But what has Oliver Eriksson got to fight back with? Here is a look at qualifying so far after Q1 and Q2 yesterday. It is Ben Philip Gundersen right up at the top there with a perfect score in front of Petter Norså and Simon Olofsson. It's time for Q3 Supercar Lites, and look at the outside there. Great start for Linus Östlund, one of the championship contenders, closely followed by championship leader Ben-Philip Gundersen. There are 12 points separating these two for the title here today. It will be decided. Tricky track conditions, and there we see Linus Östlund clipping the Armco slightly, making a mistake, dropping some time, handing the win over to this driver, Simon Olofsson. Over to the second race, it's Sondre Evjen there and the blue and red car out in front, but there is contact between Niklas Arneklev and Jimmy Valfridsson. A spin there down at the first corner. Niklas Arneklev also with so much damage, he was out of the race, and the race win goes to Sondre Evjen in front of Jimmy Valfridsson and Anders Micheleg. Over to the last race, Mads Oskarsson there out in front, but there is contact again between Hans Olaf Røshaug and Martin Jonsson. Mads Oskarsson takes the race win, and this is what it looks like after all three qualifying heats. It's Ben-Philip Gundersen up at the top in front of Simon Olofsson and Petter Norså. Time then for the last qualifying heats of the season, and the Audis are off to a good start, but it is Oliver Eriksson there on the outside, getting pushed a little bit wide in the first corner, unfortunately sending Robin Larsson together with his teammate Mattias Ekström out there in front. Oliver Eriksson trying hard to fight back. He is in contention for the championship title against this man, Robin Larsson, who really dominates Q4 as well as all the other qualifying races. Helped out this weekend by his teammate Mattias Ekström, who says he will help him any way he can to get that championship title. Oliver Eriksson trying to do what he can, but it is a win there for Robin Larsson once again in front of his teammate Mattias Ekström. Oliver Eriksson going into third there. Over to the second race, good start there for Philip German. He runs a little bit wide, putting Kevin Eriksson into the lead. Bit of a sandwich there with Peter Hedström in the middle. Contact between him and Andreas Carlsson puts Andreas Carlsson into the wall. Huge damage for Andreas Carlsson. Andreas Carlsson in a bit of a fight for best of the rest in the championship, still within reach of fourth place in the Supercar Championship of RallyX Nordic. Will he be able to repair that car before the semi-finals? But here we see a good heat for Kevin Eriksson. Peter Hedström getting out of that fight unscathed, and it is a win there for Kevin Eriksson in front of Peter Hedström. Over to the last race, a good start on the outside there for Ulrik Lindemann. His best result this year is a fourth place in the final, looking to improve that, perhaps get himself onto the podium, doing what he can here to get a good time, Ulrik Lindemann. Oh, and here we see a big spin for Dan Skodepol, the 15-year-old from Czech Republic. And it's a win there for Ulrik Lindemann. Here we see the intermediate standings after all qualifying heats are done. Robin Larsson right up at the top in front of his teammate Mattias Ekström. Kevin Eriksson there in third. Oliver Eriksson, who's also in contention for the championship, down in fifth.
Yeah, it was a really good start. Then something with the clutch happened after lap one, so I was a little bit worried in some corners, and especially the joker lap. So I saw and heard that Ekström was behind, so I was trying to take it as cool as I could, but the joke lap is really tight and you need the clutch there, so it went well.
Yeah, it was good. I had a decent start, I felt, but I don't know what the Audis does, you know. I felt like I outstarted Robin all year, but now when Ekström is here, they start really well, so he must have some kind of tune they use. So from there, you know, I just try to push my best, do as little mistakes as possible, and it was tight with Seb there. I came a bit offline when we merged there, so I was close to the barriers in the chicane, which was a bit of a moment. So yeah, but now it's semis, now everything can happen.
everything can happen, and this is what the points in the championship look like. It is equal between Robin Larsson and Oliver Eriksson. They came into this with a 5-point difference. Now they are at the same points, and Jari Keliakoski still there in third with 148 points. Here we go then, Q4 for Supercar Lites, and it is a great start for Sondre Evjen and Ben Philip Gundersen. Ben Philip just in front there, but a very, very close race. And there we see Simon Olofsson trying everything he can do. Contact between him and Sondre Evjen, and that sends Simon Olofsson into a spin down the final straight. And here we see him at the end of the race with huge amounts of damage. But it is a win for Marcus Höglund, who we see here in the yellow and black car, just in front of Ben Philip Gundersen, our championship leader, and Sondre Evjen. This is an onboard from Simon Olofsson's car. Here we see runs wide out of that gravel onto the tarmac, hits the tyre barrier, causing huge amounts of damage. He was the only one involved in that crash. Over to the second race, Mats Oskarsson there in the orange and black car gets another good start, this time from the inside. First into that corner, but then runs wide, sends Peter Norsa out in front in that red car. Quite a bit of damage. Looks like suspension and a puncture there for Mats Oskarsson, unfortunately. Brings the car to the end, but very slowly. There's a win for Peter Norsa in that second race. Over to the third race. Niklas Arneklev again with a good start in front of Anders Michalak and Hans-Ola Frøshaug. And here we see the intermediate standings in Supercar Lites. Ben Philip Gundersen, dominant runs today, up at the top there in front of Petter Norsa. Sondre Evjen there in third, and the other championship contender Linus Östlund in fourth. Now the gap coming into this weekend was 12 points. It is now stretched to 15 points. Ben Philip Gundersen at the top in front of Linus Östlund and Sondre Evjen in third. We are now ready for the CrossCar final here at Tierp Arena. There are sort of dark clouds over the track here as we get ready for this final. There's a thumbs up and we are about ready to go. In pole position we have Isak Reiersen, next to him Timmy Enlund. Second row Martin Enlund, Isak Egerson, and the back row is Julius Ljungdahl and Victor Anderson. What are you thinking, Dan?
Yeah, so it's a very long run down into turn one for these guys, isn't it? And actually, it was Victor Anderson from the back row was able to get himself up into third on the way into the corner, but dropped back to fifth. But it is the yellow squad machine out in front who seems to be having the control of this race. He's shown good pace all through the weekend so far, and he's going to be hoping to continue that now in the final.
Now I'm sure that these drivers are quite happy that the track has cleared up a little bit, getting a bit more traction out of those cross cars.
Yeah, this has certainly been difficult conditions. Of course, it was dry yesterday for their first two qualifying races, but being wet so far today. But you can see out there now it is a dry track. The gravel is still going to be slightly slippery, but this tarmac section we're on now, you can see there's maybe only a tiny few damp patches maybe on the outside of the track. So these guys able to go back to their drier setup they would have been running yesterday and not struggling so much for the traction.
Now, just to sort of take things back a little bit, we had, of course, championship leader Jimmy Österberg, who you will not see in this final. He was leading by 3 points over Nils Andersen. He was actually second to last qualifier. He has been through a lot this weekend, and I've seen some posts on social media that he was looking for a new engine for his CrossCar, so it's pretty much just gone down the drain for Jimmy Österberg. Unfortunately, with this problem, he's not getting enough points, meaning that Nils Andersen, who has been, you know, perhaps not dominant, but he's had some fantastic results this season. He's taken enough points and become champion of 2019 CrossCar without actually being in this final. So congratulations to him. That's a fantastic result.
Yeah, good job to Niels. And of course, you've got to remember that these guys pick up championship points not just from the final, but also from the qualifying and the semi-final. So with Niels, he finished, looks like 4th in the intermediate stages there. It was enough to put him way up the points ahead and take the championship. So yeah, congratulations to him.
And it looks like Supercar Lites, he's actually in this final, currently running in 4th position. He is actually in with a chance of getting past Jimmy Österberg in the podium positions. The positions following Niels Andersen. So there's a bit of a battle there for the silver in this year's CrossCar Championship. But out there in front, Julius Ljungdahl. He's looking to take 4th in the championship. He actually went up into podium positions after Riga, but unfortunately dropped down again to 4th after the Norwegian round at Finnskog.
Got lots of experience running that car, in the yellow squad car. Of course, he's being run by both Kevin and Timmy Hansen, the yellow squad car. So I think he's got Kevin on the radio as his spotter. So he's definitely in safe hands, it's safe to say, in terms of experience behind him. And he's obviously putting that to good use now as he's in the lead. But
we've got a great final battle here, last lap battle, great. Between Julius Ljungdahl and Isak Egonsen. Now, Dan, if Isak finishes in 3rd, how many points does he take with him?
He will take 4 points from the final if he's 3rd here.
So 4 points won't be enough for Isak to pass Jimmy Österberg in the championship, which means that Jimmy, even though he had all these problems this weekend, will finish 2nd in the championship. But it is Julius Ljungdahl who wins here at Tierp Arena in front of Isak Egonsen and Isak Reiersen. So big congratulations there to Julius. He comes from the back row there, actually, like you were mentioning, Dan.
Yeah, so he's not actually got the best of starts, but you can see he's positioned himself on the inside here, still on the very inside of it, but everybody runs wide. He keeps it nice and tight, and he goes, thank you very much, door left open, and takes the lead.
Yeah, it seems to be the way to go for some people. Wait until everyone breaks a little bit too late, runs a little bit wide in that first corner, and then smack right in the inside there.
Yeah, it's very easy to do here as well, with it being such a long run into the first corner. They're carrying so much speed that judging your braking when you want to be the first person out of that corner is very difficult. And when he's behind everybody like he was, he can see the mistakes everybody else makes and capitalise.
So great result there from 4th place in the championship. Julius Ljungdahl, a winner here at Tierp in the yellow squad CrossCar. These are the results then from the CrossCar final here at Tierp Arena in Sweden. Julius Ljungdahl, your winner in front of Isak Egonsen and Isak Reiersen in 3rd.
Jule, you've had a great weekend and you topped it off with a win in the final.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, we had some struggle in the semi-finals to make it to the final, and just the first corner in the final just went my way, and then it was just racing.
It got quite tight towards the end there on the last lap.
Yeah, I think we lost some momentum in the engine on the end, but I managed to get P1, so that's just amazing.
A good finish to the season.
Yeah, just perfect.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So Niels, congratulations, you are 2019 CrossCar champion. How does it feel?
Thank you, it feels amazing. I've been waiting for this all the season.
And it's probably a strange feeling not being in the final but still being champion. Are you celebrating tonight?
Of course I'm celebrating. This is the biggest win so far.
So you're adding this to your 2018 championship, so you're now 2-time CrossCar champion.
Yeah, true.
And any plans for next year?
We'll see. We have some calculations to do, and we'll see what car I drive next year. So,
congratulations.
Thank you.
It has been a perfect weekend for Julius Ljungdahl. Now here is the championship. It is won this season by Nils Andersen with 128 points. Didn't compete in the final, but that didn't matter. Second, Jimmy Österberg, and third, Isak Reiersen. And there we see today's winner, Julius Ljungdahl, finishing the championship in 4th position. We are ready for a very exciting final race in RX Academy. This is their 6th and final round. They've been with us at RallyX Nordic for every round except for Norway. And in pole position, we have Tommy Hallman, who is 2nd in the championship, but only 4 points behind Rasmus Tuominen, who stands next to him down there on the start grid. Those are the two to watch out for this championship title. That front row, and they are ready to race. And there is the green light. Looks like a nice even start for them there. This is going to be exciting, Dan.
Yeah, very exciting. Tommy Hallman getting the bit of the jump there, moves directly to the inside on the way into turn 1, as you'd expect him to do, to hold that line. And we've got Tuominen directly behind him as well. So these two are in P1 and P2 at the moment, and these are the two that are in it for the championship. Only 4 points separates them going into this race, and currently the chap in the lead is the one who is 4 points behind.
So Tommy Hallman out in front there, ex-rally driver, moved on to rallycross. And Tuominen behind him there, former circuit racer, moved on to rallycross. Very interesting battle between the two of them. Tommy Hallman, who's currently 1st in this race, excuse me. He won the last round in Finland.
It's a lot at stake for these guys. I mean, it's not just a championship that these guys are going to win. There is also a prize that they receive at the end for being the champion, and the champion of this championship gets to compete in 5 rounds in Europe in the RX2 International Series with set promotions. So that is a majority of a season paid for by winning this class, and I believe there are other prizes for P2 and P3. But as it stands at the moment, with Hallman out in front, he is still not going to quite have enough of a gap to take the lead over Tuominen, because he's only going to have gain 3 points on him at this point. So that means Tuominen will have won the championship by 1 point as it stands, unless he makes a mistake.
A lot at stake, as you say, for these two. And let's talk a little bit about this series, because it's absolutely brilliant. They get so much in this package, everything from media training to physical training to test days. And when they come to each event, you know, they get a new mechanic, new engineer, new spotter. It's all a bit of a lottery who they get.
Yeah, it's a very thought-out championship that, yeah, like you say, they get every mechanic that they get. I think they work with different mechanics and different spotters, but the thing that interests me when I paid a visit to the camp was how every mechanic gets given their toolbox, and they have exactly the same tools at their disposal, and yeah, everybody, it makes it as equal as possible. So it really does just show the drive, the talent come through to be the champion.
And we have, of course, seen previous winners of RX Academy do quite well out there in the bigger championships. Yeah,
so Jesse Callio, who won the championship, I believe, 2 years ago, he is out one of the front runners now in RX2. I think he still is in for a chance of winning the title. They still got 1 round left to go in South Africa, but he is well up there as well. And last year's champion, Sami Matti Trogan, he has also shown a great pace in RX2, the pair of them racing in RX2 together. And yeah, they've both shown their class in the field and have been up there posting the fastest times in some sessions and really showing what they can do.
So here we have it, final lap Tommy Hallman, top qualifier, second in the championship, is leading at the moment in front of Rasmus Tuominen. Take us through it one more time. If Tommy Hallman wins, he gets
8 points.
He gets 8 points.
Tuominen in second gets 5 points. But that would bring the gap down to just 1 point between the two of them. So Tommy Hallman wins the RallyX Academy final, but it is Tuominen who takes the championship.
It certainly is. Big congratulations to Tuominen for the championship and Hallman for the win here in Tierp. And are we going to see some victory scenes here from Tuominen, who realizes what has just happened?
He knows it. He's out the car. Are we going to see him on the roof? He can't believe it.
No. It's been a long season for these guys, a lot of work for them. You know, they come to race weekends and they do the job here, but they do also a big job in between races.
Yeah, lots of prep work as well. I believe these guys even go on a camp for a week where they work to develop, you know, their physical and, well, all the skills you need to be a driver, media stuff, you know, being your physical fitness, and there's so much involved rather than just the driving these days, that this academy is what is, it provides everything that they need to try and get to that professional level.
And it's been a great fight, especially towards the end of the season between Tommy Hallman and Rasmus Tuominen. That's what we like to see, that it goes right down to the wire, as close as it possibly can get, and a fair outright race until the end.
Yeah, very fair race, but Hallman did all he could to try and deny Tuominen, but it wasn't enough, and it was Tuominen who's taken the championship.
And a fantastic prize he takes with him as well to further his career in rallycross. So here are the results of the RallyX Academy final, won by Tommy Hallman in front of Rasmus Tuominen, and third Joni Alkonainen.
Rasmus, you're 2019 RallyX Academy champion. How do you feel?
I can't even get words. I had so bad yesterday, so had to recover for it, and won it by 1 point now. I don't know what to say now.
And you've had great results throughout the year. You've been consistent. You've been winning most rounds. You've had a great year.
Yeah, great year. Started a bit bad at earliest, but since earliest it's been just a brilliant season, and can't be more thankful to my parents and all the sponsors. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Rasmus Tuominen can hardly believe what has just happened. He's just won the RallyX Academy championship by 1 point, and it's clear that it has cost him a lot, and he's thanking his family for their support. So here is the championship. It has been won by Rasmus Tuominen in front of Tommy Hallman and Joni Alkonainen in third position. .1 point, that's how we like it, Dan.
Yeah, 1 point. I mean, the only way it could get closer was obviously if they were equal on points, and then it went down to count back. I'm not sure how that would have gone down, but look at the emotion with these guys. He is so over the moon.
Rasmus here with his family, enjoying the moment. Congratulations.
So, Robin, you've had a pretty good run in the qualifiers. Tell us a bit about your day so far.
Yeah, it's been a really good day, like yesterday. It was a little bit wet today, and you always don't know where to start in the launches and everything. And the launches have been perfect. We had the inside line in both of the qualies, so it's just took the starts and then just try to drive really carefully and don't do any mistakes, so it's been working really good.
And how have you found having Matthias alongside you this weekend?
It's been good. We started aside each other now in the Q4, and it's good to share experience and analyze data from every quality and hunt each other and find more speed. So it's been really good to have him with us.
And obviously your Euro RX season went very well. Tell us a bit about that, and can you back it up with a Nordic Championship as well?
In Euro RX we had a really perfect season. It's been, I think, four wins and 1 second place, and it just no problems. We just went victory, and no problems. And then we have RallyX Nordic that we have some issues and some problems and a little bit more contact with the opponents. But it's been fun to really chase Oliver and take it to the merge here in Tierp. So I'm really looking forward to the semi-final.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So, Oliver, you've had a tricky start to the day, let's say. Tell us a bit about your day so far.
Yeah, it's been tough. The rain showed up here. Getting the start right was a bit hard. I got out pretty clean in Q4 now. Could do my laps. I had some battles with Seb out there, and they couldn't quite keep up with the Audis because of that fight. So, semi-finals now, we're looking ahead. We have the speed in the car, speed in me as well. So it's here to track dress up, and semis everything can happen.
And how have you found having Kevin alongside you in the pits this weekend?
Yeah, it's super fun. He's my big brother. I really look up to him. He's shown me some pace, so I have something to chase all the time. And he's racing together. It's just a lot of fun, and it's proud to both be here.
And your current season in RX2 is going pretty well as well, and you're kind of running the two seasons together. So yeah, tell us a bit about your RX2 season as well.
It's been really good, as you say. I've had 4 wins out of 6. Really been fighting up there every single race alongside with this. So we have the finals coming up. I'm leading with 21 points there. So things are looking good. But it's rallycross, everything can happen. So it's just a lot of fun. It's tough splitting Supercar and Lites. It's a bit different to get used to every time I get in the car in different races. So to be in the championship fight in both cars it's a thing I'm really proud of, and I think it shows my potential.
Good luck for the final.
Thank you very much.
We are getting down to the business end of things here at Tierp Arena, the final round of this RallyX Nordic season. Now we have the first semi-final in Supercar Lites, and we have Ben-Philip Gundersen in pole position. Next to him, Sondre Evjen, second row, Simon Olofsson. Next to him, Anders Wislak. Back row, Martin Jonsson and Lars-Erik Haug. Now I can already confirm that your pole sitter, Ben-Philip Gundersen, is this year's Supercar Lites champion. And Sondre Evjen has already secured his 3rd position in the championship. So basically, they don't have anything to lose anymore, Dan, and I think that Sondre is going to try and get a win here.
Yeah, nothing to lose, so these guys are going to want to be going all out for the win, but Sondre Evjen's got the run into the first corner, though Michelak's trying to go around the outside, can't find a way there, and he's opened the door up wide now for Ben-Philip as well. So although he's on the inside now on the run down to turn 2, but I think Ben-Philip's going to try and outbrake him, and he does.
Sondre must have had something quite extra special at the start there. Brilliant start from him, and already building himself up a gap on the first half lap.
Yeah, I want to know what he had for his lunch. I think I'd like to have some of that each day. Yeah, fantastic start by him. And like you say, already building a gap out the front to Ben-Philip Gundersen, which we've not seen him do really much this weekend. I think he took a heat win, did he? He took a heat win in Q3 in the wetter conditions, but of course now drier. Well, it's going to be the driest they've been out on today so far, and he's really capitalised on that.
Now we see Ben-Philip chasing Sondre Evjen down. They've already secured gold and bronze in this year's Supercar Lites Championship, so it's all out for grabs here in this semi-final. They want to win, both of them, and I know Sondre Evjen is really keen on getting a win.
Yeah, very keen, and he's a very good driver. He is similar to Ollie Eriksson, where he's been flicking this season between a Lites car and a Supercar. He's been competing in the European Championship in a Johan Kristoffersen Polo, and
finished 7th this season.
Yeah, finished 7th this year, but he's been having a bit of bad luck here and there, but sometimes he's really shown great pace in Supercar and been able to match Robin on occasions. But it's very difficult going from a Supercar to a Lites car. They're very different to drive, and you can imagine that when you first go out for practice, once you've got into the different car, that you've got to, first of all, you know, try and remember how to drive that car and then try and find speed in it. So it almost does put you a little bit on the back foot as you come into the start of an event.
Now we have a couple of drivers already been into the Joker lap, and that back pack is being led by Simon Olofsson. So it'll be interesting to see how close he can get to the two in front. But it is currently Sondre Evjen and Ben Philip who are fighting it out in the front of this semi-final. So the three best placed drivers will go on to the final today. And Simon Olofsson, Sondre Evjen, he won last at round 2 at Höljes and is definitely looking to finish his season off with a win. Ben Philip won in Denmark round 3 and Riga round 4. And of course is our champion in Supercar Lites, RallyX Nordic 2019.
Ben Philip has opted to take his Joker lap, so he was all over the back of Sondre Evjen, so obviously choosing maybe that he's got a little bit more pace on him. Though I can see from the lap times that they were very even, but does also cover off his position for P2 as Simon Olofsson was starting to gain up onto the back of these guys. Actually, Simon Olofsson was is so far the fastest, set the fastest lap out of this semi-final. So
just whilst you're on Simon Olofsson there, his whole front of the car looks new, and that is because he had a massive crash in Q4 and the team have been able to fix it.
Yeah, something that we got off camera, unfortunately, but he collided with the tyres on the final corner and basically bent the whole front end, as we're going to see the Joker merge between Sondre Evjen and Ben Philip, see if he's managed to...
Looks good for Sondre.
Yeah, so managed to get the gap done and take the win in semi-final 1.
So there you have your top 3 going on to the final. Sondre Evjen, Ben Philip Gundersen and Simon Olofsson, who came back after a huge crash in Q4. So here's a replay of the start, and we have those championship contenders and our championship winner, Ben Philip, and bronze-placed Sondre Evjen in a good fight in this first semi-final. Also have to mention Anders Michalak did a great drive in the beginning, but unfortunately didn't make it to the final. He's had 2 podiums in a row, so it's been a great end to the season for him, but unfortunately not going through to the final.
Yeah, big commitment by him to try and hang it around the outside in turn 1, but it's just not the grip level there as there is on the inside. Of course, everybody normally drives on the inside, so that part of the track with more rubber laid down on it, and they can get more traction on the way out of the corner.
But it is going to be a front row there for Sondre Evjen in the final of Supercar Lites here from Tierp. He won this first semi-final in front of our Lites champion this year, Ben Philip Gundersen, and Simon Olofsson, who had a good comeback from that crash in Q4 in 3rd.
Sondre, that was a pretty close fight between you and Ben Philip, but you've taken the win in the semi-final.
Yeah, I had a very good launch, and yeah, we drove it like we used to. We're always fighting close when we're against each other, so it's good to be up there this weekend. It's really good.
What's the aim for the final?
Oh, the same start and then do the same again.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, do the same again. Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, of course, depending on what happens in this next semi-final, then we could be seeing Sondre starting on pole position.
Sondre seeming quite cool, calm, collected. You know, there's nothing left to lose. So it's going to be a real sort of all-out fight for the win here.
Yeah, and once you get to the end of the championship like this, and you know that there's, you know, your places have already been decided, driving without the pressure is always a big relief, and you can just relax and have fun.
We, of course, have a second semi-final in Supercar Lites in store for you. And it's been a great weekend for pole sitter here. Petter Norso, second in the qualifying heats. He is standing next to Linus Östlund, who's also secured silver in this year's Lights Championship. Second row is Marcus Höglund, Niklas Arneklev, and back row is Jimmy Valfridsson and Hans Olaf Rösök. We are waiting for the green light. And there it is. They are off the line. A good start for both on the front row, I'd say.
Yeah, very even start all the way across the grid there, I think, as Linus Östlund looks like he's maybe got a tiny bit of advantage on the way into turn one. He's going to shut the door on Petter Norso on his inside. He can't quite make it work. Petter Norso now up the inside of him on the run down to turn two.
They're just equal. Oh! Petter Norso into the concrete wall there.
Oh, that was a heavy shunt there. I think just contact between Linus Östlund and Petter Norso on the brakes, and that rubber on rubber was enough to put him in the concrete wall. And you could see the damage done to the car there. He ran all the way up the wall and over onto his roof. I can think there's a red flag. You can see the lights flashing around the red flag there. So yeah, we're going to need to get the ambulance guys over, check that Petter Norso, he's out of the car.
He is out of the car. That is good news. Petter Norso, I was just mentioning on the start line there, what a great weekend he's had. You know, second in the qualifying heats, really doing well, and pole sitter for this second semi-final, and then something like this happens. But this is motorsport, this is rallycross.
Yeah, I mean, you always see on posters around tracks. We're going to have a look at the replay now. So Linus is on his inside, and he actually goes a bit later on the brakes than Petter and just touches the back of his car with the front of Petter's car.
It's the smallest touch as well, isn't it?
It's a tiny one, but of course, once you know you've made contact, and especially on the wheels that are doing the steering at the same time, it just knocked him a bit into the concrete barrier, and that was enough.
And he was kind of lucky in a way that it wasn't a full stop, that he kind of slides along the concrete wall there a little bit. But of course, hugely dramatic from the inside of the car, I'm sure. But, you know, it's always worse if you have a complete stop, like straight away.
Yeah, complete stops are, of course, what cause the most injuries, because if your car stops, and of course, your body weight in the car doesn't necessarily stop with it. So you end up, you know, having injuries with the belts and things like that. I think it obviously would have been a heavy impact against the concrete wall, though.
Yeah, and if you can look at any positives out of this, it is of course hitting the passenger side of his car, you know, not the driver's side. The biggest impact is happening the furthest away from the driver. And here we see the huge safety that we have around these events, taking care of the drivers in the best possible way.
Yeah, although he would have, although of course we saw him get out of the car, and we know he's walking fine, but they still need to check him out in the ambulance to make sure he is okay.
Ben Philip, first of all, congratulations. You're the 2019 Supercar Lites champion.
Thank you so much.
You've had a great year competing with your teammate in Östlund, and yeah, you've finally taken the championship here in Tierp.
Yeah, it's been some good fights, and we have it's been a very good season for us in the Nordic series. So yeah, I'm very happy.
And now you're through to the final as well, so you've got nothing to lose there.
No, I got nothing to lose, but I want to give it all to get the best result as possible.
Good luck.
Thank you.
That was championship winner Ben Philip Gundersen, of course happy after, you know, I'd say last year there was, you know, a lot of good fight with him and Guillaume de Ridder, where de Ridder took the title in the end. So I'm sure Gundersen is happy to seal that win this year. Now, Dan, when we have a pretty big shunt like this out on track, in the middle of what is a semi-final, what will happen now once they are able to clear everything?
We'll have all the guys. I can actually see them out of our commentary position. All of the other guys from the semi-final are going to be getting ready to line back up onto the grid. Of course, once the track is clear, they will start to do that. And but unfortunately, our pole sitter is not going to be there. So it's going to be a front row of his own for Linus Östlund on the run down into turn 1. And yeah, we're going to end up with a 5-car semi. Let's take another look at the replay here. We can see a slow motion picture as they're already rubbing wheels at this point. Linus Östlund got on the brakes and
just slightest of touches.
A tiny touch, wasn't it? No, I almost thought he was going to go up over the barrier there. You could see scratches from concrete on the bottom of the car as he rolled over.
Just tell us how safe are these cars?
Yeah, extremely safe. They get checked over by the FIA, and they have, of course, the scrutineering checks at the start of every event to make sure that they meet safety regulations. And a full roll cage, 6-point harnesses, in date, helmets, fireproofs, seat belts, seats. You've got everything you can to make sure you're safe enough. You can see the window net in the car as well. That's in case if you roll over and the window pops out, that your arm doesn't go out with the window. And yeah, there's so much to it. And I mean, the cars themselves are safe, but also the kit that the drivers wear as well. It's become a regulation to wear a frontal head restraint. So in the case of a sudden stop, you don't get that same whiplashing effect on your head.
So very unfortunate for Petter Norså. He will be going no further today after what has been a fantastic weekend for him. But safety first, he is okay. And I'd say that they've done a good job clearing this now, and we will be able to run that second Supercar Lites semi-final shortly. And it's like you said, Dan, looking down at the grid here, it's a lonesome Linus Östlund on the front row there.
I'm sure he'll be pleased of that, though, of course, having the upper hand now on the run into turn 1 by not having Norså on his inside.
There are a total of 14 points left up to grab, and the gap between him and Ben Philip is 15 points, meaning that Ben Philip, as we've mentioned a couple of times, already secured the championship, and Linus has secured second place. But they all want to win, of course, this final race. So let's see what they can do now in the semi-final. Waiting for that green light. And they are off the line. Looks like a good start there for Linus Östlund. But of course, being hunted down by the likes of Arne Klev, Höglund, Fröshaug and Valfrid Itzol.
An army of yellow cars out there as well, a little bit of drama in the back, but of course nothing like we just saw for Petter Norså. And it's like we've seen, Linus Östlund out in front, and I think there's so many yellow cars, it's hard to tell which one's which. Is that Höglund up behind him? So Höglund being run by Team Fahren, and yeah, he's having an impressive job this weekend. I know that he's got a big event this weekend for him, with lots of his sponsored guests coming to take a look at this event and watch him here and have the hospitality in the Team Fahren tent. So he's going to be looking to put in a good result.
Yeah, we have Höglund there, who was 6th after the qualifying heats. Putting in a good weekend, Höglund. But Linus, I'm sure, is very happy to secure second in the Lites Championship. He's had 3 podiums this season and a win at Finnskog earlier on this year. He sort of put himself right in the middle of a Norwegian sandwich there in the championship.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's obviously the rivalry between Swedes and Norwegians, isn't there? But yeah, he's crammed himself right in there, but yeah, it's good for him to have already secured P2, and like I said earlier, for everybody out there now, it's kind of pressure off racing. It's out there to have a bit of fun and to really kind of stamp your speed going into the final now. So yeah, everyone is going to want to win, but of course the pressure's not as high as it was as they came into the start of the weekend.
Here we see Niklas Arneklev been racing hard this weekend, 8th after the 4 qualifying heats, looking to secure himself a final position, and it's looking good till now. We've had a couple of cars already gone through the Joker. Conditions completely different from this morning now. The track is looking very dry, and even though there's some sort of black clouds around, it looks like it's going to stay dry, doesn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, we've actually can see glimmers of blue sky out there as well, which we haven't seen yet today at all. It's actually been quite a dull day. So it's good that by the time we've got to the semi-finals now, the track has dried up, and of course everybody's would have had to have adapted the setup of the car after that as well, which luckily for them yesterday, they did have a dry running, so they will have a little bit of a base setup they can go off of.
So there we have Höglund into the Joker lap. How will he come out in comparison to Jimmy Walfrid? It's on there, and yeah, good margin for him.
It's always a little bit deceiving when they come off of the Joker lap here because of the speed differences. Of course, carrying a lot less speed off the Joker, it's a very tight run-in through the corners, and the standard lap is very fast. So although you could look like you've got a big healthy lead on the way out, the gap suddenly decreases by the speed difference between the two guys.
On to the final lap. Half a lap to go now for Linus Östlund, looking to secure himself a place in the final, and he goes into the Joker lap there, followed by Niklas Arneklev. And it's going to be interesting to see the Joker merge here, because that's Marcus Höglund who's coming full speed up behind Linus Östlund and Jimmy Walfridsson. Managed to slot himself into 3rd.
Yeah, it's a big time difference for the Joker lap here, roughly 6 seconds or so, 5 or 6 seconds. So you don't think he's going to be in 3rd until that final lap, because the gap is so big.
Small replay then of this yellow car race. We, of course, were missing pole sitter Petter Norså after that massive crash that he had the first time this semi-final was run, but a clear start for these guys for the second run.
Yeah, very sensible from them all this time around, not to, of course, interlock and put any of them over. The last thing they want to be doing is going into the off-season having had a big shunt, and that just plays on your mind as well when you're in the winter time and stuff like that happens.
And here we see a great merge of the Joker lap. Linus Östlund out there in front, securing himself front row next to Sondre Evjen for the final. That's going to be interesting. So here are the results of the second semi-final. For Supercar Lites, Linus Östlund wins in front of Marcus Höglund and Jimmy Walfridsson.
Congratulations, Linus. That's a semi-final win for you.
Thank you. It was such a relief. It's a tough race. First start, big contact with Norsa, and I kept it and took the start in the next, so I'm very happy with that.
And the championship's all decided now, so it's all out, flat out in the final.
Yeah, flat out. Just make this season as good as it is, and hopefully make the podium in the last race.
Good luck.
Thank you.
It's a quick confirmation then of the championship, which is decided already before the final. Our champion this year, Ben Philip Gundersen at the top there, followed by Linus Östlund and Sondre Evjen in 3rd. So I made it down to JC Race Technic, where they have a very special guest this weekend. Rallycross World Champion Matthias Ekström has joined them for the weekend, and I have to say, first of all, it's fantastic to see you back behind the wheel of a rallycross car.
Yeah, it's also quite nice to be back. And when Joel asked if I wanted to come and do the last race, I thought, yeah, why not? I have a great time with the guys. They've been doing really well this year, and we had also a great time, good cooperation. So I thought that would be a good end of the rallycross year.
Now, I know something that's hard for any kind of racing driver is to sit at home and having to watch races on the television. But what are your thoughts on this RallyCross Nordic season so far?
I think in general, watching from home, I got used to it after a couple of races, but I must admit I'd rather go racing by myself. And this year it's also been pretty tough competition at the front, especially between Robin and Oliver and the other Ericssons. So it's always good with great competition for sure, but in the end there will always only be one winner, and that's part of motorsport.
Now, you've chosen to come back at the very last round of Rallycross Nordic at Tierp Arena. Does it have some sort of special significance to you?
I mean, it's the race which is closest to my hometown. So I only grew up an hour and a half away from here. So it's nice that my parents can come by here, and I have some friends an hour north. So, you know, it's a bit in the region. I haven't had many races in this area since many years, so that's nice. But also to help out Robin to try and seal the championship, you know, for himself, that I can be teammate, give him data, driving advice, comparing graphs and all that, and making sure that he can get on top of his game.
And he needs to be on top of his game because the championship gap is 5 points coming into this weekend. He's had a great season, a bit of ups and downs as well. But what are your thoughts? He's in your championship winning car from 2016. Is that a little bit emotional that he might take a title today?
Yeah, for sure. I think when Robin, actually was Joel who wanted to buy the car, and he said, yeah, I will take care of it. And I'm like, yeah, for sure you will. And then when he was European champion, I think that was nice, because you see that the car continue having some success, and it would be really cool if it could win here today. I must admit, that would mean it has a world title, a European and a Rally Nordics title. So, but you know, it's not in my hands. It's more up to Robin to get his game sorted and try to make it happen.
It's certainly an interesting entry list for today, with yourself included. Now, Tierp Arena, what do you think of this rallycross track?
It's very different, and the high-speed chicanes, I mean, when you go into a chicane between 150 and 180, it's pretty exciting, and you have to have millimeter precision, so it's a little bit different to many other tracks, but then there are some really cool corners as well, but you know, I start to get somehow used to the speed. But the first lap, I must say, I was a bit careful.
Now, we've had a little bit of rain already. What does that do to the track?
It will be slippery, for sure. Just when we finish now, I will go out and do my taxi rides. So I look forward for the feedback from the guests, but I expect it to be slippery.
Now, give us a little bit of insight to this team, JC Race Technic. What are they like?
I think they're all really hardcore, big passionation for rallycross, and Joel, I mean, he's very young and very mature for being a team boss, and also the guys here, they have a lot of fun, they love it, and I think that's what makes them having the success as well. So for sure they will also develop, but when you start that early like Joel did to build a team, I think then you will have success no matter when or what, because he's really determined as well, and somehow I think he deserves the success.
Now, when it's been a little bit of a while since you've been in this beast of a car, what's it like to get back in?
The first time you lift the clutch and go, it's very fast. I mean, doesn't matter when. Even when I drove a lot, I thought it was fast. And I think here, when there are so fast sections, you feel it even more. So some tracks, when it's Mickey Mouse, you don't really feel it. But here, you get to stretch really a bit different. So yesterday in the dry was fantastic. I really hope that the track will dry up, but it will take a long time. So maybe in the afternoon we'll have dry again.
Now, we have a lot of fans watching today, especially a lot of Swedish fans. What can you promise them that they will see from you today?
I promise them I will do everything to win, and if I can help Robin be a champion at the same time, that would be the jackpot. So if he can get the title win, I get the race win, that's the perfect day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, if he can help him, he will. Dan, what do you think of those words?
Yeah, I mean, of course, Matthias has got a bit of sentimental value to that car, as he said a minute ago, and yeah, I'm sure he probably will be trying to help him. Not anything dirty, it's worth putting out there. Not, you know, I don't see him trying to put anybody off of track or anything like that. But you know, maybe even just being in the way, let's say, can take points away from Oliver. So he could be looking to do that.
Just seeing images there of Robin Larsson. You know, he's recently been crowned European champion in Rallycross. I wonder if is that the reason for the gold helmet?
I mean, I think he's already had that gold helmet. I'm not too sure. He's always had a similar helmet design. Maybe I'll go and ask him.
He decided a long time ago he's just going to get gold in everything this year. But he is, of course, the main contender to Oliver Eriksson in the championship. As we take a look here at 2016 World Rallycross champion Matthias Ekström, who's making his debut this weekend in RallyX Nordic. He's having a chat with Sebastian Eriksson, who did take the win at round 2 in Höljes, but then he got a 5-second penalty, putting him behind Oliver Eriksson. But he did actually go on to win the World Championship round at Höljes in the summer. So that was a fantastic result for him. He's back in a Volkswagen Beetle this weekend, and it's quite interesting what's happened between these two teams, because they've, you know, one has brought in a world champion, the other one's brought in his brother, you know, to sort of try and get some help.
Yeah, one showed their hand first, then the other one fought back.
It is going to be a very interesting end to this day. We are about ready for semi-final 1. In pole position on the left of your screen, you see Robin Larsson. He is at 161 points. That's exactly the same as the man just behind him there in the second row, Oliver Eriksson. And next to Robin, he has got Oliver Eriksson's brother, Kevin Eriksson. Will they be able to help each other out here to get a good result? Next to Oliver Eriksson on the second row is Ulrik Linnemann. And on the back row, we have Mats Öhman and Andreas Karlsson, who is back with us after a pretty big shunt in Q4. We are ready to race, waiting for that green light. And there we go, and it's a good start from Oliver Eriksson, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, fantastic start. Robin Larsson's gone backwards all the way back to 5th place here as Ulrik Linnemann.
Big spin for Linnemann there, straight into the tyre barrier for him. And what is happening with Robin Larsson?
I don't know, maybe he just fluffed the start, didn't quite get the RPM right. He's dropped back to 4th place now after Linnemann is out. But he doesn't seem to be making ground up yet. Of course, we've only had 2 corners so far, but we've got Kevin Eriksson in front of Ollie Eriksson. But as it stands, of course, they came into this race equal on points, and they take championship points away after the semi-final. Ollie Eriksson at the inside of Kevin Eriksson now, so Oliver Eriksson into the lead.
That was a nice pass. The two in front you see here, they are brothers. And of course, if you can help your brother out and help him with this championship title, you of course will. And Oliver Eriksson just passed Kevin Eriksson. But this long straight that they're on now, that was where Ulrik Linnemann just spins out of control. I mean, the speeds are so high and straight into that tyre barrier.
Yeah, just I think it was just maybe even a tiny tap with Kevin Eriksson there as well, and it's enough just to unsettle the car. As you can see from the graphic, you can see Robin Larsson's gone to the Joker lap. He's down in 5th place, so he's going to have to get his work cut out. He's currently 12.4 seconds back from Oliver Eriksson at this point, and that is not what the Joker lap gap is.
Oh, this is just from a dominant weekend for Robin Larsson. He finds himself right at the back of this first semi-final. Of course, you know, his teammate Mats Öhman will let him pass, but he does have to get up to a 3rd position here. You know, Robin Larsson has to drive for his life in this semi-final if he's got any chance of getting into the final. Do you think he can do it?
I mean, I think Kevin and Oliver are gone out front. They're already gone. I think they're out of contention. The one we got to look at here is Andreas Karlsson in P3. What's the gap going to be back between Karlsson and Robin Larsson? It's currently 11 seconds. That's not going to be enough. Robin's not going to make the final as it stands.
I mean, looking at Robin now, do you think, you know, something obviously happened in the start, but do you think he's got anything else of technical failure on this car?
His lap times, he's 2 seconds off almost. So yeah, maybe something really not right in the car. So I'm not sure what could have happened off the start. I mean, visually you can see there's nothing hanging off the car or anything like that. So could be maybe an electrical fault. He's not getting full power.
Oh, only 2 laps to go here. Oliver Eriksson just having this perfect run in the semi-finals. He was sort of, you know, his interview during the qualifying heats, he was almost sort of on the verge of giving up, sort of saying, I don't have enough performance, I don't think I can do this. And now he finds himself in the perfect position to become champion this year of RallyX Nordic.
Yeah, so of course he is out in front of Robin Larsson. We can see now the gap. We've got Andreas Carlsen going into the Joker lap. We've got Robin coming around behind him. But no, Carlsen's already done enough, so Robin's going to have to try and pass him on track. He's got 1 lap to do that, but the gap is massive. I think we're going to see Robin Larsson out of contention for the Nordic title here, unless something drastic happens with, of course, Oliver Eriksson. But as it stands, we're not going to see Robin as champion for this season.
Hugely disappointing for Robin Larsson, of course. You know, anything can happen, just you're never safe until you're safe. And, you know, we've got to see what happens in the next semi-final, but Oliver Eriksson is on his way to becoming champion this year. And that's quite a turnaround from earlier on. Now we see him as the checkered flag is there. He wins this first semi-final. And Robin Larsson, it's not looking good. He's behind Andreas Carlsen there. And he is out. Robin Larsson is out. No final for him. What a turn of events.
That's crazy. I mean, we've got Oliver Eriksson, he wins the semi-final. He's taken 6 championship points from this. And we've now got Robin Larsson in 4th place. He's taken 3 championship points from this. So, of course, they came into this equal, and you can see off the start here, this is Robin going backwards. He didn't go anywhere.
No, he's just, and here we see this massive crash for Ulrik Lindman straight into the tyre barrier, but everything okay there. And that is a very happy Oliver Eriksson, who goes and opens the door to his brother's car. Can't quite believe that he just won this semi-final.
What was the points back to Kaliakowski? Could he have already done enough that Kaliakowski can't catch him? I think he could have done, you know.
We're going to have to do a little bit of maths here up in the commentary box. Kaliakowski currently at 148. Oliver Eriksson with 167. Kaliakowski still has to do his semi-final, of course. It looks like perhaps Oliver Eriksson has done better maths than we have at the moment, because this is quite a celebration for a semi-final win. I think he is.
Yeah, they've done the maths.
Yeah.
He's your Nordic champion 2019.
Yep. I can confirm the gap is too big for Jari Kaliakowski to catch him in any way, even with a full pot in semi-final and final. This is your Supercar champion 2019, Oliver Eriksson.
Oliver, 2019 RallyX Nordic champion.
Oh man, that sounds great. That sounds great, man. Oh, I'm so happy, you know, we struggled all weekend, you know, Robin's been super good, but as I said earlier, you know, it's semis, everything can happen, and with the track conditions coming as they were, it's, you know, we pulled it off. Oh, I can't thank my team enough, you know, I wanted to do this for the guys. I knew I would get experience from doing this here and with this car, but I just wanted to bring the championship to the guys, you know, they work so hard. So to do this together with them is, I can't describe it, man.
Like you say, this is Rallycross. Larson was looking dominant all weekend, but you've turned it around.
You know, it turns on a flip of a coin, you know. Had a good start, I don't know what happened to him, but, you know, I don't even know what happened, you know, I'm just so happy, you know.
And nothing to lose in the final now, so can you take the win as well as the championship?
Oh yeah, I'll try, you know, we got the speed it feels like now, and car is running great, so know, it's been all year, not a single issue with the car, and that's how you win the championship. So to all the OMC guys, you know, it's big thanks. It's all to them.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I can't quite believe what has just happened. Oliver Eriksson, who was on the verge of feeling like he didn't have enough today, and he did. And here we see that semi-final again. Robin Larsson just has nothing in the beginning there. It would be really interesting to hear from him what exactly happened here from behind.
Yeah, I mean, maybe his reactions were a tiny bit slow, but I mean, that wasn't enough. I mean, the car's just, he's not driving away, is he? He just doesn't have the power.
Well, that first semi-final certainly shook us up a little bit. What a drama. Oliver Eriksson is this year's Supercar champion, but we, of course, have a race on our hands, and I know one man who is going to try and stop Oliver Eriksson from winning today, and to the left of your screen, that man is Mattias Ekström, world champion in rallycross. Next to him, Sebastian Eriksson in the Beetle. Second row, we have Jari Keliakoski, who's currently in third in the championship. Next to him, Philip German. Back row, Peter Hedström and Sten Johansson. Okay, I've just had some important information through. We hear that there might be a penalty for Kevin Eriksson, which means that Robin Larsson might be in the final. And here we see Kevin Eriksson. And here we see the reason maybe for that penalty is the contact perhaps with Ulrich Lindemann.
Yeah, so maybe a bit aggressive there. You can see the two of them rubbing on the way down into turn one, and then as Kevin got off the brakes, that just left Lindemann to be left to tug around and go backwards into the tyre barrier. So yeah, I can understand why the stewards are looking into that. There's a bit of a controversial move there. Stewards are looking into the onboard cameras, I've just heard in my ear as well. So of course stewards are going to get all of this footage that we have here, as well as of course access to the driver's onboard cameras to try and work out what happened.
And if that happens, if Robin Larsson is in the final,
he's still got a chance.
He's still got a chance, because there are 8 points up for grabs in the final. And as it stands, here we see Robin Larsson. He might just be in the final. The points, Oliver Eriksson is at 167 points at the moment. Robin Larsson with 164. So the 3-point gap. And if Robin Larsson makes his way into the final, there are 8 points up for grabs there.
Yeah, 8 points. So
nerve-wracking moments for this man we see in our screens right now.
I'm sure he's probably going to be going up to the steward's room to fight Lindemann's case for him.
Here we see a replay of that incident that might put Robin Larsson back into contention for the title in RallyX Nordic this year. Contact between Kevin Eriksson and Ulrich Lindemann, sending Ulrich Lindemann into the tyre barrier. And we are waiting to find out if Kevin Eriksson will be taken out of the results from this semi-final, putting Robin Larsson back in and just turning everything on its head once again. Here we see Robin Larsson. We've just seen the scenes of Oliver Eriksson celebrating the title this year because Robin Larsson was out. He had problems in the start of his semi-final, didn't make it through to the final. And then we have a complete turn of events with perhaps a penalty for Kevin Eriksson. There are some nerve-wracking minutes here, and those stewards have some job to do, don't they, Dan?
Yeah, extremely hard job, and if that penalty comes, the emotions between both Oliver and Robin are going to be sky high. Of course, Robin feeling completely disappointed right now, and Oliver feeling over the moon. And if it suddenly turns around that the championship fight isn't over, I don't know how they're going to handle it.
We're going to hear from Robin Larsson perhaps in a couple of seconds.
So, Robin, we're hearing that Kevin could be getting a penalty for that race, which means you'd be in the final, you'd still be in contention.
I have no idea how much penalty he got or how far behind I was, but I don't know if I'm in the final.
All we know at the moment is the stewards are looking into it, so you could still be in the running.
Yeah, then we need to solve the problem and go for it.
What was the problem in that race?
Yeah, as far as I let off the clutch and it just revved the 4,000 RPM, so I couldn't full throttle and nothing happened. So, yeah, it's a shame we have been so consistent and doing a good weekend, and now it's just, yeah, gone.
We'll wait to hear from the stewards.
Yep.
Well, there he gave an explanation. Robin Larsson, full throttle and 4,000 RPM in a rallycross car. That won't get you very far, will it?
No, of course, these things tend to rev a little bit higher than that.
So that is disappointing. And like he says, you know, they've been so consistent, so good all weekend, and then they get to the real, you know, important stuff where he really has to have a good start, get himself into the final. You know, then that's when it happens. But we will concentrate on the next semi-final. Ready to race light is on there. We wait for the green light. There it is. And not a great start from Mattias Ekström, unfortunately. Jari Kaliakowski gets out and right in front of him. Oh, and contact there with German. And then there's contact again with Sten Johansson. Also him into the wall. Sorry, that was contact with Dan Skottepol.
Yeah, it's a bit of a drama on the way into turn one once again. Maybe the stewards will get involved with this one this time as well, but it is Kaliakowski that is out in front, and Mattias not quite able to get the start that we've seen the Audis having this weekend so far. So maybe problems in both cars, although Mattias seems to be having the pace a little bit more than Robin did. But he's going to be wanting to get out in front of Kaliakowski and have a bit of vengeance for what happened with Robin.
Yeah, there certainly is something up in the starts with these cars, but like you say, not so bad for Mattias, and he is already hunting down Jari Kaliakowski, who is currently in the front. And we have Sebastian Eriksson there in third, but really unfortunate, you know, that it sort of happens now in the semi-final for both of these cars, because they have been working well all weekend up until now.
Yeah, it is crunch time now, so it is a shame to see that happening. I mean, you'd almost think that they would have been refining everything through the qualifying to get it perfect for this point, but maybe just pushing the limits that little bit too far and running the RPM a tiny little bit too low on the launch control, which means that the car would have just bogged down a tiny bit, and that meant everybody goes. That meant that he would have bogged down that tiny bit. Everyone went past him, and we can see Mattias is looking up the inside of Kaliakowski there, trying to be a little bit later on the brakes, but still couldn't make it work. And it's still the top three are very close together in this race. Kaliakowski running a little bit wide there through the right-hander. That's allowed Mattias to close the gap a tiny bit more. And just look at the two different driving styles there. Kaliakowski very sideways as he comes around the velodrome part of the track, and Mattias goes for the joke lap. So Mattias, he's got the gap behind him now. Feels like he can outpace Kaliakowski in terms of his outright speed. So goes into the joker lap to get himself that clear air and see what he can do now.
Yeah, Mattias Ekström there out of the joker. Full speed ahead to catch up the two in front of him, while we wait for the news of what is going to happen with this Supercar final. You know, just such a turn of events, seeing Oliver Eriksson celebrating the title this year, to then have it all turned on its head. And Robin Larsson might be back in that final race. We have to wait and see. 2 laps to go of this semi-final. Got a couple of cars out there with some damage. We had a bit of contact there in the beginning. And apologies for any bad pronunciation of our start number 103, Dan Skottepol from the Czech Republic. He went into the tyre wall here.
Mattias Ekström has managed to gap Kaliakowski on the joker lap there, so Kaliakowski went the lap after Mattias to try and respond, but Mattias has, well, he's put in a storming lap time of 43.4, which is the fastest of this semi-final so far, and now he's got to hunt down Sebastian Eriksson, but he is also in 43, something that Kaliakowski is not able to do yet.
That's an incredible comeback there from Mattias Ekström. Now, you know, he needs to do what he can, because if his teammate Robin Larsson is in that final, you know, if he is in the best possible position, and there we go, he is in front on that final lap in front of Sebastian Eriksson. It is Mattias with that terrible start that takes the checkered flag. That's a drive of a world champ.
Certainly is, isn't it? Just not getting himself into a fight and using the Joker to his advantage, and over the course of a lap, he knew he had to pump it in, and he got it done.
Let's have a look at this start again.
Actually, I think it was down to reaction times. You could see the front of his car didn't actually lift.
We'll hopefully get an explanation from him here, but here we see the massive contact there between German and the young driver from the Czech Republic. Here we see it again.
It was actually Kaliakowski that was involved there as well. So German into the side of Kaliakowski when they're on the brakes. German spat out sideways and then into the Czech driver. So unlucky for him on his first rallycross event. But
only 15 years old, eh?
Yeah, only 15, come from kart racing. So yeah, it's a bit of a different discipline to karting.
Certainly is, but what a race we had. We had Kaliakowski in the lead, we had Sebastian Eriksson in the lead, but we have our winner of semi-final 2, Mattias Ekström here, and we are going to hear from him in just a few seconds.
Mattias, congratulations, that's a semi-final win for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I didn't have too good of a start, but it was a cool fight in the race, and I had a lot of fun.
It was very close with Jere in that race.
Yeah, I mean, I was close behind. But, you know, we still have to do the 5 laps, and I felt I had a bit the edge of the pace, but 1 lap was enough to get in front, so now we try and focus for the final.
Good luck.
Thank you.
That was Mattias just basically saying it wasn't the best of starts, so you're probably right, it was down to reaction time. And here we have the results. The semi-final 2 won by Mattias Ekström, Jere Kaliakowski in second, and Sebastian Eriksson in third, as we wait for those very important news about what is happening with Robin Larsson. We will be back shortly. Andreas Eriksson, the RallyX Nordic season is coming to an end. We're here at the final at Tierp Arena in Sweden. Tell me your thoughts on the season that we have left behind us.
It's been a very interesting season for us. We've been fighting all from the first race in Höljes until now. It's been incredible races. This final is also, there's only 4 points in between now in the lead here, and that makes it even more. And yeah, I've been thinking a lot of how should we do, what should we do, but I think we just continue as we've done. Trust that Oliver is doing his job as good as he can and support as much as we can, but it's been fantastic.
Now, tell me about the level of competition, because if we look at Robin Larsson, he became European champion. I wouldn't say easy, but perhaps easier than it had been for him here at RallyX Nordic. What does that say about the competition?
The competition is fair. I mean, they took the competition up. When I saw they were entering and I said to Oliver, I was like, how should we do this? But the level is high. Yesterday the racing here was incredible. I mean, even Ekström said it was like, he floored it. He did everything he possibly could. He was fast. So I think it's good, but also this is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make a competition where they can go as fast as possible, they can trick each other to go faster and still try to drive fair. I think the race has been pretty fair this year. It hasn't been any, it's been crazy corners, first corners and so on, but it hasn't been any stupidity or crashing and so on, and I hope it continues all the way. But it's a high level. On the level too high.
What would you say is the biggest strength? We'll let Oliver leave the tent first. What would you say are the biggest strengths of RallyX Nordic?
The young drivers that wants to come somewhere and wants to race each other. The differences of the tracks. We have all championship tracks mixed with other tracks. We're trying to make a combination. This track is 170 to 200 kilometers per hour. They had Flisa in Norway. There was more a challenge of them to driving. So I think it's it's a great school to become something, and hopefully in the future they can be world champions and superstars. We hope so.
Now, I'm sure you've heard a lot of feedback. What is the interest like for RallyX Nordic from the fan perspective?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, actually, I think people outside Sweden think it's a bigger series because the names are here and it's a big. But we are a small series. We are trying to make it very, interesting for the audience. But it's from the outside, making this English, I think, was a big step forward because they follow it. They follow it from America. They follow it from France. They follow it from everywhere. So. And I think that's good. I mean, Sweden is normally very good in rallycross. Norway is very good. Finland. So, I mean, Nordic countries is very interesting in the rallycross world of rallycross today. So, I think it's good.
Now, the season ends today, but I'm sure fans don't have to wait very long until the excitement starts up again. What can the fans and everyone else look forward to with RallyX Nordic next year?
The general... It will be almost the same. We start and stop in Sweden is the plan. We are going to the other countries around. We're trying to make every event more exciting, more cars, more of everything. We're adding more elements to it with different classes and championships nationally to make it also an experience for the fans on site, because it's not only the TV and the media that's important, it's also getting the fans here and get them to interact, because you can be outside the tent, you can touch the drivers, you can be very close. And that's obviously good with rallycross in generally, but so that's what we're trying to do. And so that's what we'll continue be working on.
That was a word from Andreas Eriksson, and here we see where the stewards are working hard to work out what to do with this situation between Kevin Eriksson and Ulrik Lindemann, deciding then, of course, on what happens with Robin Larsson in regards to the final today in Supercars. But first, of course, it is time for a final. And it's the final in Supercar Lites. We have the top 3 finishers in the championship. They are the top 3 here on this grid. We have Sondre Evjen in pole position. Next to him, Linus Östlund, the 2nd and 3rd place drivers in the championship. Behind them is, of course, championship winner Ben Philip Gunnarsson. Next to him, Marcus Höglund. And the back row is Simon Olofsson and Jimmy Valfridsson. And all these 3 drivers who are placed 1, 2 and 3 in the championship, they've all won races this year. The pressure is off for the championship, and they all want to finish the season on a high with a race win. And we are minutes away from finding out who wins this race as we wait for the ready to race light on the left of your screen there. There it is, and we wait for the green light to find out who gets the best start here at Tierp, and that's a brilliant start from Sondre Evjen, but it's pretty close between the 3 of them. Ben Philip trying to find a way through, Dan.
Yeah, Ben Philip to me looked like he had the best reaction times off the line, but then had nowhere to go. Oh, Linus trying to shut the door on Sondre Evjen, but Evjen's got the inside line. Lucky not to get squeezed into the concrete barrier, but Linus able to carry the speed around the outside and slingshot himself up into the lead.
That was a way to hold it, Linus Östlund. A lot of pressure there from Sondre Evjen in a big squeeze in that first corner. But Linus Östlund out there in front is very, very even between this whole field at the moment. But they're driving, I'd say, quite sensibly for a final at the moment, but I'm sure it's going to get.
Yeah, of course, it is the final race of the year for a lot of these guys. Of course, some of them are going to be going over to South Africa to compete in the RX2 International Series. But yeah, for some of them, they've now got all winter to maybe have to fix the cars if they have to. So, yeah, like I said, it is quite a sensible start so far. But yeah, as Höglund's just slowed down, pulled to the side slightly. So Höglund with a problem there. He was lying in P3 after Gunnarsson gone to the Joker lap. So unlucky for him there. I'd mentioned earlier, it's a big weekend for him with his sponsors being here. So he's going to be a bit disappointed about that one. And you can see him there off to the side, maybe with a front left puncture or something.
Yeah, it looks like he's coming to a complete stop, driving actually off the track there, parking up in this final. But there is Ben Philip Gunnarsson in your screens right now. He's already been through the Joker lap and is going to make his way up the field, because the 3 that you see here at the front, they have not jokered. And the last of these three with the completely new white front is, of course, Simon Olofsson, who had a huge crash in Q4. And they repaired his car, got him out for the semis, and now the final. Brilliant job from the team there.
Yeah, really good job. And luckily enough, with these Lites cars, they have a parts truck that follows them around. So
That's helpful.
Anything that he damaged was able to get fixed. Of course, everything up to, of course, the sort of chassis basis of it is fixable. So,
and it's got to be pretty bad for them not to be able to fix it.
Yeah, pretty bad, but it's just a matter of time of how quickly they can get the parts and back in, as Linus Östlund's gone Joker lap.
Now look at this Joker lap merge with Ben Philip in the background there. He comes at a lot higher speed than Linus does there, but Linus does stay in front of Ben Philip Gundersen. And that means that Ben Philip has got to find perhaps some other way to get past Linus Östlund. It's very close between them now. And both Linus and Ben Philip are on the hunt for the two in front who have not jokered yet. And how long would you say the Joker lap is, Dan?
I'll just look at the gap for the last lap times. So Linus Östlund last lap was a 52.7 with the Joker. His best lap was a 47.0, so I guess you could say 5.7 seconds roughly.
So quite a slow Joker then.
Yeah, really takes a big chunk of time out for these guys, as Linus Östlund's currently 5.4 seconds back from Sondre Evjen as they go on to the final lap. Let's see if the gaps change as they come across the line. And it's 5.5.
Ben Philip looking for a way around Linus Östlund into this. This is maybe one of his last chances to get past Linus Östlund. Linus defending his position. Currently in third, but the two in front have not been Joker yet. Under a lot of pressure here, Linus Östlund from championship winner Ben Philip Gundersen. Ben Philip looking for a way around. And this is the final lap. The final corners are being decided now. It's going to be an interesting Joker merge. Here we see Sondre Evjen coming out of the Joker, and it's going to be very, very close. And Linus Östlund gets out in front of Sondre Evjen and Ben Philip Gundersen, and he takes the win here. That was incredible.
Yeah, just managed to pull it out of the bag on the final lap. Actually posted his fastest lap of the race on that final lap of 46.6. to bring down the gap there to Evjen, as Evjen lights the car up into donuts from, we can see underneath our commentary position. You are watching the race winner come back into the pits, but we are watching Sondre Evjen. He's doing donuts. There we go, you can see it there now. As Ben Philip now is going to join in the party as well. Ben Philip on the donuts now, which, yes, lads.
They are, of course, celebrating first and third in the championship, and also a great result, second and third in today's race here at Tierp Arena. But the winner is Linus Östlund, and he's out of the car door there. That was a brilliant Joker lap merge, I have to say. I didn't expect that.
No, very close, and well, they'd obviously worked out their strategy very good there, so worked out very well.
Just had some information in. There will be no further action, no penalty for Kevin Eriksson in that semi-final contact with Ulrik Linnemann. That means that Robin Larsson is out. No final for Robin, and Oliver Eriksson can continue his celebrations as champion of RallyX Nordic 2019. As we watch again this final in Supercar Lites, Linus Östlund there, really celebrating inside the car. I mean, it must have been incredible for him to just get out just in front of Sondre Evjen there. Brilliant drive. Here are the results of the Supercar Lites final, won by Linus Östlund, his second win of the season in front of Sondre Evjen and Ben Philip Gundersen, our champion, in third. And this is what the points look like. It's already been decided. Ben Philip Gundersen, this year's Supercar Lites champion, in front of Linus Östlund and Sondre Evjen in third. Here we see Robin Larsson. It's looking quite serious in the car. The decision has obviously already been made, like I just mentioned, but perhaps the news hasn't reached him yet.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it would have. We just got that news, which would have come straight from race control, so they would have had to have prepped the car and got him down there just in case that news did come through that he was in the final. But of course, he's not making it any further. But I'm sure he is still going to be sat down there, and in case someone pulls out, as he's on the reserve list.
Oliver, obviously a bit of controversy from the semi-finals there, but all you can do is go flat out in the final, I guess.
Yeah, you know, we see what the JC crew does here. If they pull Matthias out of the final to put Robin in for the championship, or what happens. But you know, now we've done what we could. You know, front row for the final in the last event of 2019. You know, we're just gonna go out, enjoy, have a blast, and do what we can.
So you're in a good position either way.
Yeah, either way we're good. You know, we had a good semi there, and with Kevin straight behind me, you know, it's perfect conditions and perfect tactics from the team to pull that off. So yeah, we just go from there and yeah, hope for the best.
Hope it goes well.
Thank you.
Kevin, so obviously some talk with the stewards going on about the semi-final, but you know, all you can do is do your best in the final.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they can talk what they want, but for me it's pretty clear. So I'm just gonna do my race like normal.
Matthias, how are you feeling ahead of the final?
Yeah, so far so good. We'll try and make a better start now and see if we can get off the line like normal.
And obviously we're still waiting to hear if Robin is going to be in the final. What can you do if he is, and what can you do if he isn't?
Yeah, for me it doesn't make much of a difference. I will do my best, and when you are on the pole position, there's only one goal.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, so the latest info is that Matthias Ekström might be pulling out of this final due to technical problems. That means that Robin is first reserve driver for this final. So it might just have been shook around once again, Dan.
Yeah, so if the stewards weren't going to do it, Matthias is going to take it into his own hands and do it. So, of course, that will mean that Robin is lining up on the back row. But it does mean that this championship is not decided just yet.
We've said it several times, you know, that now he can relax, now he can celebrate, now he's got it. But there has been some incidents both in the semi-finals for supercars, which means that it could perhaps still be wide open. We do see Matthias Ekström here looking very ready for the final, but behind him is Robin Larsson, which is he's driving past him looking more ready, and he will now go into the final. I'm almost at a little bit of loss of words, Dan, because we can now see Robin Larsson warming up tyres in the background here, getting himself into the final. Matthias Ekström out with technical problems, meaning that the first reserve driver, Robin Larsson, gets a spot.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've seen this before in Rallycross, so I don't know why we didn't quite see it coming, to be honest, but here we are. Robin Larsson is in the final, and this championship is not decided just yet.
It isn't, and the gap between Oliver Eriksson, who is in pole, and between him and Robin Larsson, there are 3 points between them. There's a total of 8 points for the win in the final, and then it goes 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in points. So Robin Larsson's got to do something magical from the back row.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many combinations of which will mean that each driver would win what. I mean, it's probably not worth trying to work it out and list it now. We'll just have to try and do it live as they're going around. But yeah, Robin's got a bit of a fight on his hands, but if they fix that car, then
ready to race. Okay. Light is on. It's all blown wide open in this championship. Nothing is secure yet. There's the green light. Oliver Eriksson has a great start. Robin Larsson coming from the back there, already moved up into 4th position. What can he do in 5 laps, Dan?
I mean, there's one thing I know for sure is that he is going to fight, but I mean, if it stands at the moment, of course, Oliver is going to take the championship if they hold these positions, but you can guarantee that Robin Larsson is going to be fighting hard for this championship. He's not going to let it go to waste right now, but out in front, Oliver Eriksson, he didn't crack under the pressure of having Robin back in the championship fight, and he managed to nail the start and get away in front.
Now it's 3 times Eriksson at the front there. We've got Oliver Eriksson, championship leader in the front, Sebastian Eriksson second, and Oliver's brother Kevin Eriksson in third. So Robin has his work cut out for him in front here, because these are all guys that either drive for Olsberg MSC or are somehow connected.
Yeah, so Robin is going into this as a bit of a one-man army, isn't he? 1 against 3, but yeah, I'm sure he's going to be laying the pace down. Of course, he's already made his way up into 4th place, and but the guys in front aren't going to make it easy for him at all.
Absolutely not. He's got to get through these 2 white cars in front of him, the Fiesta of Kevin Eriksson and the Beetle of Sebastian Eriksson, to make his way closer to Oliver Eriksson. He goes Joker. Robin is in the Joker lap now. Get that out of the way and then start the hunt for those 3 cars again. Also, Carlson slots in front of Robin Larsson.
Carlson yet to do his Joker lap though, so Robin needs to be careful that he doesn't catch up with Carlson and lose a bit of time. For me, I think if you're Ollie Eriksson's spotter now, I think you would send him into the Joker lap, because you've got the gap over Robin, and that's the person you're fighting for this championship. You've got the upper hand on him. If you can get in front of him on track from the Joker tactics, don't give him the breathing space, then the championship's yours. But they've not decided to send him in just yet.
What does this do mentally? I mean, Oliver Eriksson, we've seen him celebrate this title, because Robin Larsson, contact there for Sebastian Eriksson with the tyre barriers. We've seen that has caught out drivers earlier on today, but it looks like everything is okay with his car. But yeah, I was going to say, what does it do to you mentally? You just celebrated a title. You think you've got it secured, and then at the last moment, the other contender makes it to the start of the final.
I mean, it's not really a situation many of us have been in, is it? I mean, I'm not sure how you would handle it, but you've just got to completely recompose yourself and try and get back in the zone. But yeah, he's definitely doesn't look like it's phased him. You can see Robin Larsson's all over the back of Carlson now. This is going to be costing him time.
This is what you said was going to happen. He was going to catch up to Carlson. Carlson was going to, slow him down a little bit, as we've got Kevin Eriksson out of the Joker lap merge. Robin Larsson completely sideways there, trying to get past. And had he been past, oh my God, Kevin Eriksson into the tyre barrier at the end of the start straight. Disaster for Oliver Eriksson. He was in the lead of this race.
Oh my, I can't believe it. I think maybe he's just dropped on the brakes. I'm looking at the composition, and the car is steering. It's broken on the car.
Oliver Eriksson from the lead of the final and into the tyre barrier with broken steering.
This is still not over yet though, but it depends what happens to Robin Larsson. It could, if it depends on where he finishes now as to where the championship's going to lay him.
Now he's second.
So
164
so
plus
Robin,
5 points, 169.
Plus 1.
That's going to be a 1-point difference. And the title goes to Robin Larsson. I'm at a loss for words.
Ollie Eriksson.
I'm at an absolute loss for words. Oliver Eriksson out there on track with broken steering, trying to get his way to the finish of this race. Finishing that final with 1 point gives him 168 points. Robin Larsson finishing in second position gives him 5 points. That's 169. Here we see a replay of what happened with Oliver. He's already broken the steering at this point.
He just broke the car broken him on the brakes. He didn't. That's nothing to do with him himself. He just hit the brake pedal.
But could he have had contact with that tyre barrier up at the
chicane, potentially. I mean,
because that has happened to a couple of drivers already today. Unbelievable what we see unfolding here. Absolutely unbelievable.
So that means now,
according to our calculations, Robin is the RallyX Nordic champion 2019, and here we see Oliver laying down on the gravel. Cannot believe what has just happened. This is the most incredible turn of events I think I've ever seen, Dan.
I don't think I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. And I am so gutted for that man right there. He did nothing wrong. And it's just been taken from him after celebrating, thinking he'd won it, and then he's not.
Robin?
Yeah, I won.
You've won. You are the 2019 RallyX Nordic champion.
I don't know where I am. First time we were out, then I got caught up by Carlson, and then I saw Oliver out of the race, so I don't know where I am right now.
1 point the difference between you and Oliver. It's been up and down between you all season, and then drama again in this final.
I don't know what happened to him, but I'm so glad because we had the speed all week, and then it was taken away from us in the semi-final with some issue, and the start didn't work in the pre-start, the reader, so I just full throttle in the first gear, and it went. I did everything it could with this Audi today.
Never gave up?
Never.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
You can feel the happiness for Robin Larsson, but I have to say my heart is broken along with Oliver Eriksson. Just those scenes of him burying himself in his hands, down on his knees, out on the track there. None of them can quite believe what has just happened. I really am at a loss for words. Here we see a replay of that final. Dan, you got to help me out with words here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the same as you, but Ollie, you could see he had a very sensible start. He drove away. He's already got a gap at this point. Robin's back in 4th place. And at this stage in the race, Ollie's the champion. And everything just got taken away from him. I mean, maybe we'll see if he clips the barrier anywhere. We're watching him now. Can't really see. No, he didn't touch the barrier there.
Didn't touch the
There's
barrier
Seb
there.
going wide.
But his steering was broken coming down that straight. That's what put him into the tyre wall. He didn't have anywhere else to go.
It was as he hit the brake pedal, the steering of the car just gave way. We see a slow motion of him over the jump there. Again, nothing seemingly wrong with the car. No contact anywhere. And it just let go of him on the brakes. You can see the...
Yeah, it's actually on the braking. It's like you say, that steering just brakes on the braking. Just how bad luck can you have? Unbelievable. Moments like this will shape you as a competitor, it's just unbelievable to have to go through this. I mean, what a roller coaster of a day, from celebrating, just can't believe that he managed to do it and he did it for the team, and then to have it all just completely turn upside down. The emotion must just be unbelievable.
From something that's not even a fault of his own. That's the worst thing about this. If he'd made the mistake himself, he could turn around and say, yeah, okay, I made that mistake, but he didn't do anything wrong. And you can see there, Kevin Hansen, Timmy Hansen.
Kevin's here as well. Timmy
is
as here.
Well.
They know all about disappointments in this sport, and they are there for him, and Ollie's going to need a lot of hugs.
Yeah, definitely. So gutted. So gutted.
I mean, it's what makes this sport great, and it's what makes this sport so incredibly brutal, are moments like these. Right, Supercar final is won by Kevin Eriksson. Congratulations to him. He's winning on his 2nd time out in this series. Robin Larsson in 2nd place, getting the championship title. Unbelievable. Sebastian Eriksson in 3rd. Whew. And there is confirmation of that 1 point difference. Robin Larsson is now the 2019 RallyX Nordic champion, in front of an incredibly disappointed Oliver Eriksson in 2nd, Jari Kalliokoski in 3rd position. I think the people who have been here today, all of you watching at home, I think everyone is stunned at these turn of events. But of course, at this point in time, Dan, we've got to be happy for this man, because he did it. And you will hear the team the team boss at JC Race Technique, all the boys behind this team, they've all worked incredibly hard, as of course has the Olsberg MSC team. Everybody works so hard, but right now, we've got to be happy for that man.
Yeah, got to be very happy, and I'm sure Robin is going to be thanking Matthias when he gets back to the awning, isn't he, for Matthias's technical problem. But yeah, and that just flipped it around, didn't it? And that was the opportunity he needed, and he did it.
I mean, watching in the one instance, we see Robin, he's just been crowned title. He got a position in the final from his teammate Matthias. I mean, just wow. And then on the other side of it, you've got Oliver Eriksson, who's just had his world collapse.
Yeah, I mean, you would have been riding sky high, and even through that final when he's in the lead and knows that he's got it, he's still going to be riding sky high, but then that car braking on the brakes, it's still taking time out to have photos with the fans. That's what we like to see. Even though he's just had the championship ripped out of his fingers, he's still got
literally
time.
ripped.
Yeah, literally.
That is the most brutal thing I think I've ever seen. Unbelievable. We are still so stunned up here in the commentary box. We have a clear view of the podium just down here, and there are, you know, a lot of hugs going around, both in a great way, as we see here for Robin, but also in the worst way for Oliver Eriksson. Unbelievable. I think I've said unbelievable like 100 times already. But that's what it is.
So there you are, folks. If you're playing a drinking game at home, listen out for the word unbelievable. That will be your sign to drink.
Robin Larsson, you were out after the semi-final, and then you went around to win the title here of RallyX Nordic. Oliver Eriksson does, of course, finish second, as we saw, but Dan, second right now must just not taste nice at all.
No. I mean, for him, he's probably now going to be having the mindset of second place is the first loser.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of racing drivers think, I'm sure.
I wonder, you know, what's going through his mind right now. We will hopefully hear from him at some point during this podium celebration. But what a weekend it's been here at Tierp. It has, of course, been quite dominant from this man, Robin Larsson. They've had a great weekend, both him and Matthias Ekström, who's been debuting. So, but you know, this is the sport. This is Rallycross. Dan, how would you sum up today?
I've got no idea. No idea. I mean, I think if you were to chuck every emotion you could think of into a bowl, stir it up, pour it out, that just sums up the day, really. So,
yeah, and it's been an incredible season, and we would just like to thank you all for following us on these incredible rounds of RallyX Nordic. See you next year.